So we are ready to start with the presentation, and it is now my pleasure to leave the floor to Giulio. We'll be starting the presentation, and later on we will be back to you for all the questions that you might have.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Giulio Contini. I'm the director of the Scuola Italiana di Ospitalità, which is the Italian School of Hospitality. And we have Claudio Lucchese, which is professor at Ca' Foscari University, Venice, in the department of where our bachelor program is hosted. And I would like to start with a short video presenting you all the program in general and the Venice atmosphere where the program will be held in particular. So let me try to share the screen with you. Okay.
We can't hear the audio, so we can just maybe try to share it again and just maybe select the share sound option. So in the meantime, I can see that more people joined, so a warm welcome. We're just about to share a video, as Judy was mentioning, that will give you an idea of the atmosphere and is actually staged in Venice.
Okay. Share sound.
Perfect.
And
Mi chiamo Salvatore Orlando, sono il direttore del Dipartimento di Ca' Foscari che offre il corso di laurea in Hospitality Innovation and the Tourism.
Mi chiamo Giulio Contini e sono il direttore della Scuola Italiana di Ospitalità, la prima scuola in Italia ad applicare il modello internazionale dell'Hotel School, che integra costantemente lezioni frontali a stage in aziende di hospitality.
Con questo corso formiamo professionisti in grado di affrontare le nuove sfide del settore dell'ospitalità e della trasformazione digitale dell'industria turistica.
Abbiamo l'ambizione di far conoscere l'eccellenza italiana nell'ospitalità a livello internazionale e di supportare l'innovazione e la qualità occupazionale nel settore creando nuove professionalità.
Sostenibilità, qualità e attenzione agli aspetti socioculturali. Tante innovazioni che richiedono nuove competenze e nuove figure professionali.
Nell'arco del triennio di studi abbiamo previsto 50 crediti formativi da conseguire anno dopo anno in attività di tirocinio presso prestigiose aziende del settore turistico.
I corsi saranno interamente in lingua inglese e potrai scegliere una seconda lingua europea. Riceverai una formazione che ti fornirà competenze digitali, economico-gestionali, assieme a competenze sulla complessità degli aspetti sociali e culturali del turismo. Approfondirai i temi della comunicazione e della mediazione culturale con la Cina.
Ti piacerebbe lavorare e crescere in un settore dinamico ed internazionale come quello turistico?
Cogli le nuove opportunità di formazione e ingresso nel mondo del lavoro con il corso di Ca' Foscari in Hospitality Innovation and the Tourism.
Eccoci qua. Allora, quindi insomma questo video è stato girato ovviamente, this video was turned in Venice, of course, and we decided to show a little bit, not just the school, but also the real environment. Venice is so peculiar because Venice is an open sky hotel. So it's one of the cities in the world with the highest concentration of hotels. And with the big advantage to study hospitality management in an environment which is full of hospitality-related businesses. So I would like to share another presentation of this program. Let me try share again. Okay. Here we are. So we started to think about the hospitality. Why study hospitality in Italy? Because in Italy, hospitality accounts for 13% of our GDP and 50% of our employment. So Italy is the first European market by number of hotel and hotel rooms. We have more than 33,000 hotels and more than 1 million rooms, unrivaled in Europe. Again, other very strong economies of tourism and hospitality in Europe in terms of GDP and employment are Greece, Spain, and France. Italy is also 5th in the world for international tourist arrival. We're talking about 62 million people, and 6th in the world for revenue generated by the tourism industry. We're talking about $49 billion, so a huge amount of revenue. And the coronavirus crisis just proved the importance of this industry in the country. So talking about the coronavirus, we need to think in the medium long term. So people still want to travel, both for business and for leisure, and probably coronavirus enhanced the willingness of those people to travel. But we have new values. So the value of safety, the value of region, the value of the impact, the value of the authenticity of the experience. So that's why we decided to focus on the hospitality education, creating and supporting the new values and the new competencies. So the first one is the customer experience management. So the experience needs to be designed around the guest, designed around the customer. Then the facility management. So the infrastructure needs to be very well managed from a safety and from a hygienic way, but also from a logistic point of view. Then the business simulation, which means that the manager of the industry need to be prepared to run a business. Then, of course, we're talking about the emotional intelligence. So it's an industry where the host, the client, the guest needs to be pampered and needs to be related with the local people and with the local typical factors of success. So the emotional intelligence means understanding the guest and giving the guest the responses that the guest is expecting. And so therefore, the general attitude towards the soft skills. So we're trying to create both hard skills and soft skills core competencies in our students, which will be the future manager of the industry. We also focused on an important research that was held in the Italian tourism and hospitality sector that proved that 68% of the employees in the sector need reskilling. 1 out of 3 companies cannot find proper human capital. So they are looking for employees, for people to hire at all levels, also management level, of course. And what they require, of course, is more managerial culture in first place. On the other hand, what is the university offering so far? Well, in Italy, over the last 10 years, the number of enrolled students has grown a lot. But at the same time, the typical Italian tourism-related degrees, bachelor degrees, they are not responding to the needs of the market. Actually, only 44% of the graduates work 1 year after graduation, because it is a very traditional way of doing university. It's a very traditional way of doing academic studies, not really related to the industry of hospitality. So less than 1/3 of the graduates believe that the university studies are useful for work. And the educational offer is only open usually to Italian students with little international experience. So we decided to do the things the other way around. So to change the focus from the pure, merely theoretical and academic, we decided to put a real focus based on the real experience and on the real work environment on the hospitality industry. And we decided to open it internationally. Actually, we already have selected students from non-European students for this program. There were more than 85 requests of admission, proceeding from more than 23 different countries that we have, of course, selected a few ones in order to enter this program. And at the same time, the program will be entirely English taught with a very strong international perspective. So our vision is to create the first hotel school with university degree in Italy to train new managers in the industry through the learning by doing methodology. How? Attracting students from all over the world, setting the Italian model of hospitality, which is based on the typical distinctive features of our culture and of our business, which is the authenticity, which is the culture, the design, the lifestyle, the Italian lifestyle, and the Italian way of hosting people, to strengthen our reputation as a hospitality country, and through a constant exchange between the academic part and the industry part at the highest level. So the hotel school model, which was not present in Italy so far, is now present thanks to this bachelor program in cooperation between the Italian School of Hospitality and Ca' Foscari University Venice, where the students will learn by doing through real life situations under the guidance of teachers and professors. The training will be flipped classroom is the methodology. It's called flipped classroom. So alternating classrooms and on-the-job training, which will be constant, not just in the end of the study program, and involving the companies from the designing of the program, of the study program, until the internship, the projects, the workshops. So this cooperation with Ca' Foscari University is absolutely basic and fundamental, because we decided to choose Ca' Foscari and to do it together for many different reasons. One of the reasons is the location. I mean, Venice is probably the region of Venice is the top region in terms of tourist attraction in Italy. Then Ca' Foscari is a university which is very open-minded, because they understood the need of this industry of the training, on the job training. And so we decided together to do a special bachelor program with 50 credits, European credit transfer system, 50 ECTS credits, proceeding from internship, not from theoretical classroom studies, but from internship. And those credits will be every year. And then 50 students, we have in Italy, we have in this case, for these courses, we have only a limited amount of students admittable per year, because this will allow a very direct student professor or student supervisor in the internship relationship. So if we grow the numbers, we are not able to give this personal treat, which is so important for this kind of programs. And the courses will be delivered at Ca' Foscari University, Venice. I mean, Ca' Foscari University, and Claudio can for sure say something about it, is ranked #1 in Italy for internationalization and top 10 in Italy for employment rate. So I don't know, Claudio, if you want to add something about the importance of Ca' Foscari for the quality of the teaching, for the international aspects, and in international relationships for Ca' Foscari, and also for Venice as a city.
Yes, Giulia, thank you. So I will add a few words on the international aspects, and in particular on the, let's say, teaching aspects of the course. So I was introduced. My name is Claudio Lucchese. I'm professor at the Department of Environmental Sciences, Informatics and Statistics. And we will get back to why informatics and statistics is important in this course. Just to let you know that the department is, I don't know if you looked at the introductory video, in the video during the introduction, you may have seen some fancy buildings, quite modern, not really look like Venice kind of buildings. That is where the department is. And this department is, let's say, from a bureaucratic point of view, hosting the course, but your lecture will be held in Venice, actually. So in the city center in downtown Venice, in the historical building and the historical building of the university. So as Giulio was saying, so Venice has a long history of, let's say, international studies, international way of approaching, let's say, the way we shape the bachelor's and master degrees. So of course, you may know Venice has a long history of being very well connected to Far East, for instance. But this course in particular has been designed to, let's say, boost your skills to make you ready to work in whatever location in Europe and worldwide. As you will see during the courses, of course, there is a huge focus on the hospitality method, let's say, that we may have in Italy, but we also have courses which aim, let's say, to a broader scope. So we have especially, so first of all, we have courses to learn another foreign language, which can be Spanish, Russian, Portuguese, whatever, so that you are ready for the job from day one. So this is our main goal. But also we have a few courses try to improve your, well, maybe it's not correct to say soft skills, but in general, to let you gain the skills that you need for cultural communications across different cultures, across different hosts, different clients you are going to meet. And yes, as Giulio was saying, so Venice is actually a growing university, and we are hosting more and more teachers from outside Italy and try to attract them as much as possible. And we are trying also to put bridges to other countries through allowing our students to visit, to travel, and to have their experience abroad. And in particular, as Giulio anticipated, this course includes a long period of internships. So in terms of time, it's about 1/3 of the course is about internship. So it's not just theory course, but it's actually working in practice and working in a hotel or in a hosting facility, or basically where you are willing to work. And you will have one of these internships every year. And our commitment is, of course, to start to let you experience the hospitality in Italy, but also to allow you to experience, to have a job experience also abroad and in Europe in general. Giulia, you want to add more?
Oh, yes, with pleasure. Okay, it is very important, this aspect of interdisciplinarity, which means that you can study through 3 years, both theoretical classes, like in different areas, and practical parts. So the different areas, it means that you will be a complete professional. You will not just know about the hotel operations, but you will not just know about business classes. You will not just know about the languages. You will know a mix, which is the perfect balanced mix of knowledge. Like, for example, for soft skills, you will know the languages, but you will also know the cross-cultural communication and the cultural mediation with China. To make you an example, Venice is like the most famous Italian city for China. Just think about Marco Polo, which is now an interesting Netflix program. But Marco Polo was the first Western person who actually became really famous in China and opened culturally the Chinese market to Europe. And so cultural mediation with China is like one of the specialities of Venice. English for tourism business, geography for tourism. So understanding how to treat different people, how to deal with different people proceeding from different countries, both if those people are your guests, or if those people, like it always happens when you are working in a hospitality company, are your colleagues. Because if you become a successful hotel manager and you are called in a hotel chain to work in Dubai, you will be working in a team with Indians, with Americans, with Australians, with Scandinavians, with Italians, with Spanish. So you need to focus on how to work efficiently in a multicultural environment. Then, of course, talking about HR and leadership, always soft skills, guest experience design, HR management. Many universities have the typical classical course on communication. We have a course in storytelling for hospitality. And the guest experience design is something that the companies are looking for, because the concept of I have this product and I sell it is absolutely old. Right now, the concept is just let me think about my guest. How can I improve the experience of my guest? So first I think about my guest, and then I design the product and services around him. So then we're talking about also the hard skills. First of all, the sustainability and the business management subjects. Because sustainability nowadays is fundamental also for hospitality and tourism, especially where in a city like Venice, the tourism industry can be harmful for such a delicate environment. So the impact of tourism in the environment is very important, but also in the community. Then, of course, you have the digital and technology part. I don't know if Claudio wants to add something, but what I would like to say is that just instead of studying just statistics, you will study big data analysis for hospitality. Instead of studying just computer science or softwares, you will be studying the typical softwares used in the hospitality industry. So CRMs, customer relationship management software, PMSs, so which is the software that manages the property management. Then, of course, the channel management software and the revenue management softwares. Then, apart from that, you will study advanced digital technologies for tourism and the low data and protection. And then, of course, you have the hospitality management typical subjects such as food and beverage management, hospitality management, cultural heritage for museums, and so how the museums can be enriching your hospitality experience in your hospitality business, and the marketing and the revenue management. And then, of course, the internships. The internship will usually in Italy, the internship is it's in the last year and it's about 6 to 10 credits. Here, the internships are 3, 1 per year, and it's 15 credits on the first year, 15 credits in the second year, and 20 credits in the third year. And those internships are with growing responsibilities, which means that the first year, year 1, you do an internship about operations. So you need to see how it works in the different departments of a real hospitality company. Then the second year, you do some supervising about the operations. And then the third year, you will be an assisting management position, which means that you will be an intern, of course, but in a position where you will be assisting a manager, and the companies will be actually taking an eye on you, because the interest is to continue the cooperations after you finish the internship in order to have the job offer. Usually in the world, in Europe, in the world, this kind of bachelors with this organization of the hotel school, they have employment rates much higher than 90%. So the employment positions and employment perspectives are really, really, really high. I don't know if, Claudio, you want to add something about the importance of data, and that's why we created this very strong partnership for the hospitality industry.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Giulio. So yes, and this is why the, let's say, computer science department comes into place, as I was mentioning before. So as you understood, we think that this degree must really provide you a large, let's say, number of expertises. It's not just one single topic, but really you need to be manageable, to master several skills in several topics. And one of these is that about digital and technology and e-tourism in particular. So, I mean, I suppose I understand you know better what these keywords mean. I just want to give you an example and to underline in particular that these courses come from teachers in the computer science department, so they have a strong expertise and strong record of activity. So this is how we are trying to provide you a good, let's say, a good student experience. So in particular, if you think about digital technology, so just to give you a couple of examples, think about the importance of advertising nowadays. So one question you would like to answer and you will be able to answer is how to run an advertising campaign for an hotel or for a facility and everything else, how to master all the technicalities between an advertising campaign. Or going with other example, how to master the communication across different channels. So you know very well and now communication goes through different channels, social media, website, and so on and so forth. And this is one interesting aspect of this course. Regarding data and big data, so think about the ability to monitor how your hotel or facility is going over time, how the tourists are behaving over time. What about being able to predict how many people you will have in a given day, or how the interest of people will move over time, trying to anticipate that. And so, as we were saying before, to design the right user experience to be able to satisfy the user needs before your competitors. So these are some of the, let's say, abilities that being able to analyze big data and to have this digital twist, let's say, in your background, you will be able to master all of those topics. And don't want to be too technical, but I want to highlight that this course is supported by different departments. And as I said, we need to provide you with with different skills in different areas. And this is why you will have teachers from the management department that will teach you about management. Could be food and beverage, revenue management, sorry, so on and so forth. And also you have teachers from the economics department teaching you about the economics and sustainability of tourism. So what I want to highlight is that this is an effort between different departments, and this allows to get, let's say, teachers that are really with a really long experience exactly in their field and trying to provide you the best, let's say, teaching experience you can have.
Okay, thank you very much, Claudio. So I would also add that this school has received support. I mean, for this in Italy, the Ministry of Education is not always is very reluctant in opening new bachelor programs, and so in order to do so, they ask for a lot of paperwork. But in our case, among the paperwork that we presented, we deposited a number of several expressions of interest and letters of endorsement from many different companies, and like hotel chains like Hilton, Club Med, or independent hotels such as Pellicano or Acqua Dolce, and also local and national trade association like the Trade Association of Hotels of the whole Italy or of the Venice region. And those are deposited in the Ministry of Education as a proof of support from those companies to this initiative. And this initiative of the Italian School of Hospitality is also supported by Cassa Depositi e Prestiti, CDP, which is the Italian National Investment Bank, which supports what they believe are crucial initiatives for the crucial industry sectors within the country. And so actually we have so many, this is just a number of companies who deposited letters, but we are in very close contact with many different hotel chains, nationals and internationals, and which are very willing and asking us to provide them with students for the internships because they are interested in educated workforce to enter and start a career progress from middle management to top management positions. So I have seen a couple of questions.
Yes, we already started to receive some questions while you were actually presenting. So one was actually about the fee of the courses. Yeah.
The fee of this program is 6,000 euros per year. And it's not just the fee for the enrollment for the studies. It doesn't include the accommodation. Here in Italy, students go and find usually a shared apartment, but Ca' Foscari University has many different student dorms options too. And we have a department at Ca' Foscari that helps students just to find an accommodation. And
yeah,
sometimes
may I add that there is an availability for scholarships, for a few scholarships. So you can apply and request, and if selected, you will get, I think, I'm not sure, sorry for not being precise, the scholarship is about 5,000 euros, if I'm not wrong. And so this is an opportunity I'm suggesting you to take, let's say.
And then the question, after graduating, can someone start working in a luxury hotel, or is it better to continue with the laurea magistrale? So the laurea magistrale, for those of you who are not used to this Italian term, is like the master degree. So in Italy, we have a 3+2 system. So you start with a 3-year bachelor, and then you have a 2-year master to have the second step of the studies. And then you have the PhD if you want. In other countries, such as Spain, for example, you have a 4-year bachelor and then 1-year master. So those 3 years bachelors in Italy, this is absolutely sufficient to start working in the industry. And actually, for this kind of program, it is recommended to do so. It is recommended, if you want, you can go and do a laurea magistrale, a master degree. It's not a problem. But for this industry, and for this kind of study program, it's so focused to let you enter at the middle management position in the hospitality industry that you can actually do so. And once you enter the industry, you start working the different departments, the different companies. Actually, some of those hotels that we have seen in the endorsement letter of the Ministry of Education, they are luxury. For example, we have Roccoforte Hotel, which is a top 5-star luxury hotel chain all over the world. But the advice that we give in this kind of programs is you finish the studies, you accept the job offer, which you will be probably receive, and you start seeing your own path. So if you prefer a kind of hotel chains, you prefer resorts, you prefer leisure, you prefer mountains, you prefer the sea, you prefer the city hotels, you prefer the chains, you prefer the restaurant chains, you try to see the kind of department that you prefer, and you start to see the kind of business that you like most. And then once you know that, and you do, like we suggest, 2, 3, or 4 years of working in this environment, then you choose a master and do the master in the focus that you have chosen with a lot more experience.
Perfect, thank you. I wanted to ask, so you were talking about, for example, the documents that probably are needed. Is there maybe a time where you suggest students to put an application through? So if someone is interested in applying, when is the best time to put all the documents together? Is there a sort of deadline to follow?
Yes, there is a deadline. Okay, the students, as we only have 50 seats available, actually 50 seats for EU students, for all students, while for EU students is 45, 5 is for non-EU students. So for those seats available, you need to apply through the Ca' Foscari page. And to do so, you also have to take a test. This test can be taken either in Italian or in English. It is called TOLC-E. And I'm sure that Claudio can offer you more details. But apart from the test, which will give you like a score, and based on this score, we will make the ranking of the students. And apart from that, you have to provide us before the first half of the first year, I guess. You have to provide us with a B2 English language level testing, according to one of the main English language tests, or also according to a test that is specifically indicated within the Ca' Foscari page.
Yes, exactly correct, Giulio. If I remember correctly, the deadline for the application is end of August, something like 24.
24, yes.
Yes. And the test is basically a standard test. It's a basic test on, let's say, logic and a bit of maths, but basically it's logic and comprehension. And you can run simulations of it. So recommendation is to give it a try. And of course, it's a requirement for the enrollment because as we were saying, we will do a ranking to select the best scoring, let's say, candidates. So it's a requirement to go through the test. So it's, as I said, there are simulations, it's open, you can give it a try. And so you can get ready and get the best score you can get.
Perfect. And in case someone, I mean, it sounds, I mean, 50 seats, I guess there are probably lots of students applying. In case someone doesn't get, let's say, to pass these first application deadline, is there a way to try again, maybe during the course of the year, or maybe they have to wait for next year, or maybe you suggest them to apply to a similar school and then maybe try to, let's say, move to the university? What could be your advice on this?
That's an interesting question, actually, and not easy, but my recommendation is to stay in contact with us. So the limit is 50, but you know, you never know if we can get some, you know, extra place, or if someone, you know, changes his mind over time. And of course, in general, it's depending on the availability of places. It's, yeah.
I'm sorry, may I add something? There is the possibility that some of the students from outside of Europe, they don't get a student visa, and so we have extra seats available.
Exactly. So let's stay in contact with us. We will also try to contact you back, because we will not forget about you, of course, but be proactive in contacting us, because as soon as there is an opportunity, we will try to offer that to you and to get in contact with you. Of course, in general, so this is a degree course and university course, so you can, for instance, transfer from other universities at any time. This is, of course, subject to the availability and the way we can recognize your past experience, job experience, for instance, or with the way we recognize the courses you have already taken in other universities. So be proactive in contacting us, and usually we get back to you as soon as possible.
So anyway, I would like to add that if it's difficult to do that from Italy, from within Italy, if you start from another program this year, because we are very unique. So the subjects are very unique. So probably not all of the credits that you get from another university in Italy can be validated. Anyway, we have some very interesting questions concerning this program, like the main job positions that alumni now hold. I have to be honest, this program has just been launched. So September 2021 will be the first edition, so the first job position will be open for our students 3 years from now. So I am not able to give an educated response to this question. Nevertheless, the schools that are using all over Europe this methodology, the main job positions that the alumni hold, within a couple of years, they are in middle management position. So which means sub-director of a hotel, or a marketing manager, or guest relationship manager, or ICT manager in the marketing for the hotel chain. So food and beverage manager, which is another very, very important position. But from 10 years, of course, they will be hopefully getting top management position. But of course, you can speed up your career if you finish your studies at the bachelor, then you work 2, 3, 4 years, then you do a master, and then you can speed up your career again. And this is a very educated question about the job situation in the hospitality after the coronavirus crisis. Well, if this crisis is over, the situation is very, very, very interesting, because the companies in Italy and all over the world, they realized that only professionals can work and work well and give efficiency to their companies. So in an industry that many times has suffered from people from other industries coming, they are realizing how important is the hospitality, the people educated in hospitality, and that can come from a multicultural environment like the one we are creating, and that are a competent mix of hard skills, like the technical skills, like the statistical skills, like the computer skills, and soft skills such as human resource, multicultural communication and management, etc. So we are creating right now the right mix that the companies are already looking for and they cannot find now, so that within 3 years we are expecting a total full recovery in 2022 of the tourism hospitality industry. So within 3 years from now, of course, the company will be, those skills will be very, very high in demand. And so the companies will be requiring, and actually they already are requiring our students for internship so that they can start feeding them day by day and getting to know them on a day-by-day level in order to give them and finalize them the job offer once they finish the course and the program.
Perfect, thank you. You mentioned before that there is tests, the toolkit. Is there a way to prepare for these tests?
So yes, so my suggestion is that if you go to the website of the course and you follow the enrollment procedure and explanation, you will find that this test is offered by a service, let's say, which is called CISIA. You will find the details in the link on the website. And there you will get pointers to simulations and to material and to topics for how you can get ready and be prepared for the test. And indeed, of course, you can take it offline. This is very interesting. And as Julia was saying, you can take it also in English. And this is important for everyone. I'm mentioning the fact that you can take it online because we also host these tests in our departments. But I mean, this is not the case for you.
Thank you. You were mentioning that August 24th is the deadline for application, but when is the actual course will be starting?
Yes, thank you. So first of all, you will get an answer from after the test. So you will know whether or not you are accepted right after the end of the deadline. And then you must accept before September 6th. So this is a deadline for you to confirm your enrollment to the course. And then the course will start typically mid-September. So around, let's say, 15 September, the course will start immediately. So it's important that you get ready for that, and you try. We also have a welcome and housing services, which I all recommend to get in contact with you, so that you are ready to be here as soon as possible. So to find your flatmates, as Julia was mentioning before, and so that you are ready to stay here with us as soon as possible.
Thank you. Please, Julia, if you wanted to add anything.
Well, about the last question, then if scholarships are still available, yes, there are still scholarships available, and students with low income that can prove that they have low income, they can have a tuition fee waiver.
Yes.
But apart from that, the last question, the strength of this bachelor degree. Well, basically, I would sum up the strength in first to show a very strong academic and industry business partnership. So this is why we have probably one of the best Italian universities, that is Ca' Foscari, in one of the best hospitality and tourism cities, which is Venice, with the Scuola Italiana di Ospitalità, Italian School of Hospitality, which brings all the industry knowledge and the industry experts and the company partnerships in order to maximize the learning experience. So you have like learning by doing approach, theoretical part, but never only theoretical, but always attached, linked to real life job situations, to the practical part. And then the other strength, which is very important to me, is the absolutely international environment, which for this kind of programs you do not find in Italy. And the right balanced mix of different areas of knowledge. So you will not just study hotel management. You study the hotel management, you study the ICT aspect of the hospitality industry. You study the soft skills, the human aspect of the hospitality industry. You study the communication and storytelling aspect of the hospitality industry, and you study the international languages that can be useful to work in the hospitality industry. So the different areas that only a big universities like Ca' Foscari can help you and put together to create the right profile for the future managers of the hospitality industry.
Thank you, Giulio. Question about if there is any help to find places to live for someone who's coming from outside.
Yes, so I mentioned it very quickly before. We have a welcome service, which actually its goal is to help you as much as possible in these issues, like finding an accommodation. So of course there are facilities by university, so you can apply to dorms of the university, and you actually have been one was open 1 week ago, indeed, a new one. And but in general, this office will appoint you to other services, other places, other contacts which can help you with this. And just to mention a few aspects of this welcome service, one of the typical services is the buddy program. So basically, if you need to do so, you'll be let's say matched with a buddy, so which is let's say a more experienced student, which knows which are the best bars in town, and we will try not only to help you find an accommodation, but also to get the best of living in Venice.
And the best spritz in town, which is the typical.
Best spritz in town is mine, actually.
Yeah, every person in Venice is convinced that.
No, this is not true, because they don't know how to prepare. They just buy the bars. But apart from that, so yes, so that's the course. So we would like also to enjoy being in Venice. And besides enjoying, I can tell you that also we activate a number of tutorship programs. So for many courses, we activate tutors programs or tutor activities. So all the, let's say, side activities which can help you to be successful during your studies. At least this is what we try to do.
I wanted to ask, so before when Giulio was speaking about this approach, which I have to say is very unique for the Italian education system. I'm also from Italy, and I can definitely tell. I wanted to ask if during the program, there will be some sort of workshop, or there will be some keynote speaker maybe invited to take some sort of lessons, or it will be mainly held from academic, or if maybe the students will have the opportunity to hear from professionals from the industry.
Okay, well, this is part of our plans. I mean, the Ministry of Education requires some solid academic studies together with, in this case, a very important part of internship. But of course, during the academic studies, we will have some invited professor in order to give master classes about some specific issues. And usually those professors would be like quite inspirational. And in this case, usually those top classes will be held starting from the second year, because the first year you really need to set the basis in order to enjoy actually those top professionals that come and talk to you about something. We had something similar already, like 1.5 years ago, during the first summer, in the first lockdown, when we had 7 different events, online webinars, which were called together with Ca' Foscari Business School. In each of those 7 events, we invited a couple of top professionals giving insights to the industry managers about how to survive to the coronavirus crisis through some specific techniques, giving some advice in the food and beverage, or in the hotel real estate, or in the hotel marketing and efficiency, or in the health and safety issues. So we have been working with important lecturers coming from the industry, each of the important topics for the Italian industry, which was suffering a lot more than it is now, which is now recovering. And so it was a very successful event. So we already have in place those close contacts and this willingness of those important people to come here and lecture in an inspirational way to our students.
This is great. So before you were actually talking about the strength of the program, I wanted to ask, what are you looking for in a student? So you can see we have students connecting from different countries. Lots of them are from Italy. So if someone comes from a high school, which wasn't hospitality focused, will they have any issue following, for example, if they're coming from more mathematics or engineering background? What sort of skills are you looking for?
Of course, we are talking about students, high school, who finished their high schools. So we're not looking for engineers or for statistics or for HR managers. We're looking for students. The most important thing for us is that they are passionate about the hospitality and travel industry, and that they have like an analytical mindset. So they question themselves, and they ask themselves questions, so that we can help them giving the tools so that they can find the right answers to their questions. And of course, the more open-minded they are, the better.
Yeah, sure. So our goal is to build the skills from scratch. So we don't know, I mean, we don't want to have students which already, know everything. This is not possible. So if you're sufficiently motivated and passionate, you will be able to gain all of the skills you need from scratch. This is how we shaped our courses, basically.
That's why the qualifications, to answer to this question, the qualifications are, you just finished your high school, so you have your high school diploma, and you have a B2 English level, because if you don't speak English, you can't understand classes and you can't communicate correctly, so properly. So in this case, you will have to improve your English and then come back next year. And then pass this TOLC-E test. I mean, have a good score in this TOLC-E test, which is basically, as Claudio mentioned before, a logical test. So nobody's going to ask you the date where America was discovered. Nobody's going to ask you the date of World War I or II or III. Oops, we don't have III yet, hopefully. But basically, this is it.
Perfect. So this actually is answering the question we just received. So we still have a few minutes, so please write your questions into the Q&A. I wanted to remind you all that after this event, we will be sending you an email. So you'll receive an email. We will be including a file where you can find more information about the program. Perhaps we can also include some contact details. So in case you have any further question, you can reach out to the team. So I wanted to ask to Giulio and Claudio, since it's the first edition of this bachelor degree and it's great to hear about this opportunity. I wanted to ask you all if there was anything else that maybe you feel that it wasn't covered enough, that you want to stress about this program, or maybe even some sort of tips or advice to students that maybe they're wondering if this could be the right choice for them. Hard. I know it's not easy.
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I want to ask something which is not very much academic, but I believe that from the student point of view, this is going to be a great experience, I think. So imagine yourself learning and study with colleagues from all over Europe and experiencing your job from day one in different hotels, facilities, resorts in Italy and across other countries of Italy. So I think, we are pretty confident, especially thanks to the partnership with the industry. As Giulio was saying, you will experience your skills soon and every year. But I think that personally, this is going to be a great experience from a student point of view. So this is something that we also try to prepare, and yeah.
I also would like to add that a location studying in Venice is probably one of the perks that as an international student you can explore, but also as an Italian student. I don't know if Giulio wanted to add anything else.
Well, probably my key point would be stay flexible. So, I mean, the purpose of the university is not to create a manager in the industry, a top manager in the industry, but is to give to each student the tools to continue learning through experience and through studying. So the interaction between the studies and the experience is fundamental. So like you study something which seems boring to you, then you go in a real job situation, and then you see, oh my God, this is how I can use this stuff that I thought it was boring, but now actually it's useful. So you realize how useful is what you study, and this you can do it from year one, from the beginning. Usually in the Italian universities, this is not happening, especially for tourism and hospitality. You finish and you don't know what you can do and how to do it, because you just study. So in this case, this needs to be a methodology that you will have to use in the future, because you don't finish studies when you get the bachelor, or you do a master, or when you do the master, you never finish studying. So when you will be a manager in your early 40s, you are not arrived yet. You still need to study, to update, to learn new things. There is an English proverb, teaching old dogs new tricks. This is something that you always need, because you need to reskill constantly, because society changes, business environment change. And so the important thing about the school and the university is to give you the tools to read and understand the changes in society, and the tools to learn how to adapt yourself to those changes to be successful.
Thank you, and I couldn't agree more to what has been said. I really wanted to thank our speakers and for presenting us this very much unique program. And as they were saying at the beginning, I mean, coming to Italy to start this sort of program where there are lots of hotels in the luxury also setting, it would be probably the best choice that you could make, you know, if you're passionate about the industry. And, you know, we all hope that post-coronavirus, there will be probably a boom of this sector. People want to travel, people want to go back to hotel to enjoy themselves. So I really believe, I personally believe this could be a great option for you. And I really wanted to thank Giulia and Claudio for their time, but maybe all of you for staying connected, for your questions. We will be sending you an email after this event, so you can get in contact with the team and ask any further question, and we will be sharing with you some extra information. Don't forget, August 24th is the deadline, and so I really hope that you found this webinar as interesting as I think it was, and if you put an application through, you get to meet Giulio, Claudio in person and studying the incredible Venice. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
bye.
you, everyone.